strange story in Chukotka. Women are taken by their husbands to sleep with strangers to show hospitality. As long as they have children, they don't need to know whose children they are. The whole village will celebrate and have a service to hire a wife to serve them to bed. The name Chukotka seems strange, but Russia is all too familiar. A country with the largest territory in the world with 17.1 million square kilometers, accounting for 1/8 of the land area on Earth. It has the world's strongest army and the world's second strongest air and navy after the United States, to the point that the missile king Kim Jong Un sat with Putin in the session had to be tacit. And in a vast country is the most remote land in Russia, Chukotka, but also the place that decides the future of Russia. Here winter lasts for more than 6 months because it is located in the northernmost. It has the extreme climate with snow and ice all year round, and the temperature can drop to 50 degrees Celsius. So how can people survive for so many years, and what strange customs they have? Spend 15 minutes of life with the top 10 mysteries to decipher each question. Russian President Putin says Russia's future lies in Chukotka. On January 10, 2024, during his first visit to the Chukotka Autonomous Region in the Far East, one of the most inaccessible areas in Russia, which is only 80 kilometers from the United States, Putin declared that the future of Russia lies entirely in Chukotka. It plays a logistical role, a place of production, contains mineral resources, and has abundant reserves of oil, natural gas, coal, gold, and tungsten. It is part of the Northern Sea route, which creates the shortest route from East Asia to Western Europe via the Arctic. Besides, it owns an area of 737,700 kilometers, but is sparsely populated with only 15,000 people, including ethnic Russians, Chukchi, Eskimo, and other indigenous peoples. Temperatures are freezing, dropping as low as 40 degrees Celsius in January, and highs rarely exceed 10 degrees Celsius in July. Due to natural factors and difficult supply chains, the price of fruits and vegetables in Chukotka is among the highest in Russia. 1 kilogram of tomatoes costs 10.25 USD, while 1 kilogram of bananas costs 11 USD. This money will buy 20 pounds of food in Vietnam for a few months. Next is the scene of women sleeping comfortably with guests, and if having a baby, the whole village will celebrate. Women can sleep with guests comfortably. Having children, the whole village will celebrate. It's really strange. Eskimo women are brought by their husbands to receive guests to show hospitality and to sleep comfortably with strangers. The thing you don't know, Eskimos, also known as Inuit or snowmen, living in Chukotka and Alaska, have long been in the custom of renting out their wives for a long time. When a man of a tribe goes hunting, he always has the right to bring with him the wife of a person who has been introduced. During the hunt, the Eskimo woman took on the role of both a housewife and a passionate lover, meeting the needs of the man who hired her. At Chukotka, sharing a wife with each other is considered an act of respect. They want to share the best woman in their life to bring happiness to others. If the other man refuses, the husband considers it an expression of disrespect for himself and his family. For widows, it is even more encouraged to sleep with strangers. After that, any woman who becomes pregnant after sleeping with a guest will be celebrated by the whole village. But this custom is not caused by wrong desires, but due to the harsh conditions of nature. Women give birth to many children, but not all survive. Women of all ages, social status, and appearance, regardless of their appearance, receive the affection of many men. Whether the virginity is still or not, it doesn't matter, because here the concept of virginity also does not exist. The virgin woman for them is simply never used a man. In order to be the most comfortable, the Eskimo people do not look into other people's private love affairs. In contrast to other ethnic groups when men are the breadwinners, in the Eskimo family, women are taller and stronger than men, characterized by brown skin and high cheekbones. Most of the heavy work is done by them, who can move the sleds with one hand, carry a spear and a knife to hunt polar bears or walruses. While the husband is a hunter, fisherman, and trader, the men of this ethnic group use only rudimentary weapons such as spears, hooks, javelins, and bows, but can hunt both whales and polar bears. However, due to being exposed to many other cultures, now the idea of hiring a wife and changing wives only exists in the elderly and middle-aged people, because everyone understands that promiscuous sex increases the possibility of spreading the disease through sex and incest. So don't be in a hurry to celebrate. So do you know how they can survive in that extremely cold? Let me take you on a journey to explore in the next section. Close-up of how to survive in a strange house. Living in this cold region, staying warm is the key to survival. In order to shelter from the biting cold, the tribes in Chukotka must first have a place to live. It is an igloo tent made of compacted ice blocks, and if there are two men's hands, it will be done in just 1 hour. Moreover, the interior of the room is also all ice. The bed was also made of ice, with a fur carpet on top of it, so it was okay to lie down. You may be wondering how much warmer it is in ice while ice insulation is very poor. First, you need to know that traditional houses cannot exist in its biting cold weather. The wind penetrates every pore, therefore this house style is the most reasonable. They will use snow pressed into bricks, bonus air cushion to help effectively insulate and to increase safety when the wind blows. The tent is anchored permanently to the ice surface. The coldest part of the ice tent is the lowest part, so the people will dig holes and make fires to heat the tent, of course. There is a small hole in it, and then the Eskimos will sleep upstairs to take advantage of the hot air. It's an ordinary house, and the igloo tents built for tourists are a little different in design. The wooden doors and the ice walls are sculpted in various shapes such as statues of Buddha, elephants, and dragons. Entering the room, you will see sleeping bags and thermal bags set up for guests to use because the temperature is always at 0 degrees Celsius. It feels like being in a refrigerator. There will also be no closed bathrooms and toilets, but you will use dry toilets outside, using sawdust to fill the waste. I heard that some of my brothers and sisters who have experienced the snow tent say that the price is about $192 USD for an overnight sleepover. If it were you, would you be willing to come and try it even for 1 day? Please comment yes or no at the bottom. There are enough slots to make a trip again. Finish the housing. Now comes the extremely unique costumes and food items, like a weapon that only people living in cold places have the opportunity to use. Unique thick clothes and shoes obtained from the death of animals. Coming to Chukotka, you can't wear revealing body dresses and shorts because you will die in the cold. Instead, there is a fur coat with a hat, known as a parka, by the locals. The clothes of the Eskimos are sewn in 2 layers, 1 layer of leather and 1 layer of animal hair, and the face of the animal skin is pressed together, directing the fur outwards. Of course, real fur is not artificial. It can be seal, wolf skin, sometimes polar bear skin. Even the seal's stomach is also used as a waterproof jacket, while sheep fur is made into gloves. Hats are made from mammoth or walrus fur. They wore boots up to 2.3 layers thick. In short, if you want to sit in a position where no one can sit, you have to suffer the feeling that no one can stand it. Even the underwear called tacit is made from the short and shiny fur of seals. However, the goal is not to keep warm, but to conquer the hearts of men. That's why the sisters also wholeheartedly decorate them with red, white, and yellow beads, which look really bing-cheeling. They often use fish fat, whale fat, and other animal fats, as well as hay and dried seaweed to make candles and fuel. This method not only meets the need for heating, but also reduces the dependence on limited wood resources. In terms of eating, Eskimo men will hunt seals, whales, and fishing in winter and reindeer and polar bears in summer, only with rudimentary weapons such as spears, hooks, javelins, bows, and arrows. Seals here are plentiful and always available. Therefore, people will catch seals for meat for the whole family, make food for the dogs, use their skins as clothes, and sell the meat to other regions for income. Besides the dish that is considered their traditional specialty is akutak, an ice cream made from fish, seal fat, reindeer meat, and raspberries. Although it sounds weird, most tourists who have tried this ice cream praise it for its deliciousness. For a long time, people thought that this animal only served as food for the Eskimos like whale meat, and their fat was used as fuel to light up the night and cold. No one has ever noticed how the Eskimos exploit and use the parts of a seal. In fact, the role of seals with the Eskimos has been raised to a new level. The story goes that there was a couple in a group of scientists who came to explore and learn about the life of the Eskimo people. Since arriving here, the two have tried to adapt to the terrible cold environment, but they can't make love alone. Even though they have tried by the fire in a separate tent for two couples. After that, the husband boldly asked an Eskimo man about this delicate issue. The experienced Eskimo man just smiled and went back to his tent, took the scientist a small vial containing pills that looked like animal fat, and told him to have sex again after using up a vial as soon as possible. 2 days later, with an extremely satisfied face, the lucky explorer asked what elixir he had been given to use that was so effective. The native man replied with a smile, "It's fine seal testicle powder mixed with their fat, and the pellets are formed." He added that it was just a kind of dry food for bad weather days. During the breeding season of sea dogs, Eskimo people often use fresh food, and at that time, the power achieved is boundless.
Oh my God!
It turns out that the source of vitality that helps Eskimo people to have sex all year round is the peculiarities in the testicles of newly developed seals, preparing to start the first mating season of their lives. That's when the essence of a virgin male seal is at its strongest and most useful. If you eat both of these precious testicles completely, ordinary people can hardly bear it after just a few hours. During the Arctic seal hunting season, both Eskimo men and women enjoy this heavenly specialty. Not used up, they also process it into a dry form to store, waiting for spring next year. Hearing this, any brother who is physiologically weak must be eager to go to Chukotka once. In the end, to survive, innate genes are still a key factor. Like us, when we go there, we eat, sleep, and rest. Like them, they tremble all day. At the time, scientists studying the genome of the Eskimo people discovered a series of strange gene variants that help them lower insulin and bad LDL cholesterol levels in the blood, thereby being able to self-lyse fat and prevent cardiovascular disease. After all, travel is still a factor that many people are interested in. Many people think they must be wearing roller skates. However, the main means of transportation here is a snowmobile using a dog. The breed that will reign supreme will be the Siberian Husky or the Alaskan Malamute. In some other regions, Eskimos still use kayaks or cars. And that's not all. The following customs will give you a better understanding of the people in Chukotka. Strange customs of the Eskimos. First of all, Eskimo kiss is indispensable. You know, instead of shaking hands or kissing lightly on the cheek, Eskimos have a strange way of expressing affection by directly rubbing each other's noses. This is an intimate gesture, usually done between couples or parents and children. They avoided kissing lips for fear that the cold could lock their lips together, just as Tibetans stick out their tongues to express their joy when guests come to their homes. In Niger, there is a way to greet them, raise their heads and shake their heads. Moreover, Eskimo people also take advantage of smelling each other's bodies, and that is also considered a way to show intimacy. Of course, not to smell armpits. The second is that you will see the presence of tattooed girls. Don't be shocked when you see Eskimo people drawing tattoos on the chin, cheeks, and corners of the mouth, all over the body. The tattoos are not only for beauty, but are considered as amulets against diseases and help women during childbirth. Each type of pattern depends on the area where the woman lives. Of course, not only in Chukotka, but in ancient Vietnam, there was also a tradition of tattooing. Not only like the ancient Vietnamese during the Hung Dynasty, who tattooed themselves to survive, but in the Lai Tran era, tattoos showed the culture of the roots and the will to defend the country's independence. Finally, the most modern gold mine at the end of the world, but few people dare to come. The most modern gold mine at the end of the world. The Kupol gold mine is located in the Okhotsk-Chukotka volcanic belt of the Cretaceous period, so you can understand how the world is craving gold. And at this huge gold mine, ordinary people do not dare to take it. It is difficult to get there. It is even more difficult to survive there when facing a temperature that can reach 50 degrees Celsius, which is easy to make anyone suffer from heat shock. and cardiovascular diseases. But behind the deadly danger is a fortune of gold, silver, and gems. In the second half of 2009, the Kupol mine reported production of 6.55 tons of gold and 45.74 tons of silver. By 2021, Kinross Gold Company collected about 15 tons of gold in this deadly cold land, so that machines do not freeze, so that batteries do not run out quickly, so that food does not freeze by cold snow, so that human flesh can withstand the cold of cutting skin and cutting meat. Kinross Gold has had to invest heavily. Kinross Gold has created the main artery called the Winter Road that only lasts exactly 6 months. The entire 322-kilometer road is marked with reflective pins, and the roadbed is constantly cleared of snow with the help of hot water spray trucks. When the ice melts in spring and summer, one can only get to the Kupol area by helicopter, a 1.5-hour flight from Bilibino. In addition, the facility has been designed as a resident camp. Workers stay on the construction site for 2 months, after which they have 2 months of rest. Of course, electricity and water are expensive. The demand is about 400,000 to 600,000 taels year for treated water and 35,000 to 50,000 taels 3 hours year for potable water. Besides, there is a 900-meter-long closed tunnel connecting the camp to the mine called the Arctic Corridor. On the other hand, the Kupol plant is also designed to process about 3,000 tons of ore per day, i.e. 100,000 tons per year. Today's video is the end. Thank you for watching this far. Don't forget to give Top 10 Mysteries 1 like and 1 subscribe. And you must have a better understanding of the land of Chukotka, right? Please tell me what impressed you the most about these strange facts. Now goodbye and see you in the next videos.
With